Talk now to aviation analyst Alex Macheras. Alex, good to speak to you. And obviously it is early days, but how concerned should we be that this is the second major crash involving a Boeing 737 MAX 8 in less than 6 months?
Good afternoon. Well, this is, of course, somewhat unprecedented for a brand new aircraft to have been involved in what is now its second most fatal major crash in the space of less than 5 months. But it is important that we don't draw too many conclusions at this point, because ultimately search and rescue is underway, and that is the priority now. The priority is finding potential of this crash. But the whole dynamics of this so far have been quite unusual, given that the first we ever learned of this Ethiopian Airlines 737 MAX crash today came from the office of the PM, who said that his thoughts were with those who had been killed in a crash. But this came before any reports, even from the airline, to suggest that Ethiopian Airlines had even suffered an accident today. Now, as the hours have gone on, we have learned that the aircraft involved was a Boeing 737 MAX. This is the latest Boeing short-haul jet of the skies, and it was operating what should have been a very routine flight from the airline's hub in Addis Ababa to Nairobi. We know that the aircraft was only airborne for less than 10 minutes before disappearing from radar, and that is as far as investigators know or have released to the public so far. That search and rescue is underway. That's the priority now.
And Alex, the previous crash was a Lion aircraft in Indonesia. What's the latest with that investigation?
Well, the 737 MAX that was involved in the crash by its operator Lion Air, that investigation is actually still ongoing. There are a variety of causes, but they didn't pin it down to the aircraft itself. Boeing did issue an emergency advisory to suggest that a certain procedure would need to be altered specifically to do with the departure. But again, I won't comment on that too much now, because that could have no relevance to today's accident. Yes, it is the same aircraft type, but ultimately we do not know the dynamics of the crash. This is a brand new aircraft type, and with new aircraft, there are often teething problems to do with its entry into service, but teething problems do no way equate to fatal accidents. And this is why it is unprecedented that a 737 MAX should be involved in yet what is another fatal accident in the space of 5 months, but it could be totally unrelated to the aircraft at this point. Let's be clear and wait for further information as the search and rescue gets underway.
Absolutely. And Alex, Ethiopian Airlines, that's doing very well in Africa. It has a good, mostly modern fleet, but yet it's got a poor safety record historically, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't have a poor safety record. Ethiopian Airlines is an extremely safe airline. It's one of the largest in Africa, and they operate very safely, very securely. They're one of the most trusted airlines in Africa. If you're referencing what happened in 1996, that was a very rare and extremely unusual circumstance that was over 20 years ago. But since then, the airline is extremely trusted. It's in line with all safety standards around the world, and it does operate.
Sorry to jump in, but there is a history of hijackings with that airline, is there not?
There was a sole hijacking on Ethiopian Airlines, but that does no way put into the spotlight that this airline is somehow unsafe. This airline is a very safe airline. They suffered very famously a hijacking in 1996, but that was over 20 years ago, and that was in no way relation to the aircraft safety.
Alex, for now, thank you very much indeed. Great to have your analysis there. Alex Macheras for us there. Thank you.